Will the Steelers draft a cornerback at number 20 in the 2022 NFL Draft? G'day, Steeler Nation. Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. My name's Mark. I'm your host once again, and thank you guys for checking out the videos over the weekend. But today, we are talking about the NFL Draft and NFL mock draft. It is not my strongest suit in this realm of Pittsburgh Steelers, and I love to talk the team any way I can. And I'm getting better at it. I'm trying to get better at, looking into the highlights of players, looking into their strengths, their weaknesses. And something caught my eye today when I was going through the NFL news. I was looking through the mock drafts, and I came across Daniel Jeremiah. Now, there is many mock drafts happening throughout the NFL, and there's Bucky Brooks, there's Adam Schefter, Mel Kiper's on about 25 at the moment. There's a lot going on, right? There's a lot going on. So this caught my eye, and I was starting to think, could this be a possibility the Steelers go and draft a cornerback, right? Daniel Jeremiah here has his mock draft 3.1. He says, this would be a fun fit for the Steelers secondary, right? At pick 20. When healthy and dialed in, Stingley is a top 5 talent in this class. Now, I started to go down the rabbit hole and started to do some work and try and figure out who Stingley is. Like I said, I'm not a draft guy, so this is kind of fun. So if you guys are like me and you want to go on the road with me, that's fine. If you guys know a lot more than I do about the college prospects than I do, let me know in the comments. Let me know if Stingley would be a good pick for the Steelers. Now, firstly, it comes to my attention. I looked into Stingley's stats, and I started to see in 2021 there was really none there. And I started thinking, hang on a minute, why was that? Well, it turns out that Stingley had a foot injury, Liz Frank foot injury in 2021. Leading up into week 4, he had to get surgery after that. So that's what he's coming off, right? And also he did miss the NFL Combine. So would that be a risk for the Steelers to take him after having an injury? He's not fully healthy yet, right? But it does come from Stingley's his own words here say, right? He says, my rehab is ahead of schedule right now, Stingley said. I'm on pace to do what I have to do at the pro day. I'm almost close to 100% right now, getting into running, starting to do a couple of plants, breaking downhill, and that's the reality where I'm at. The first thing I think is the cornerback Stingley here is confident, right? He's confident in himself. Now, that's all well and good. It all goes to show. I think every single NFL player would be confident in themselves to be like, hey, look at me, choose me. I'm 100%. Put me in, coach. But I do like that confidence factor coming off the injury. He has been injured, I think since week 4. Foot injury, man, you need that as a corner, right? You need to stop, start, and break routes, and a bit like you got to keep up with the receivers. So his pro day is coming up on the April 6th. And could there be interest from Terrell Austin, Mike Tomlin, and Kevin Colbert? That is soon to be known. But it is interesting to see that Daniel Jeremiah was picking a cornerback for the Steelers. I kind of like that. And where would he really fit in this Steelers defense? We still know that Terrell Edmonds has not been signed. There's a safety has not been signed either for the defense. So when you bring in a guy like Stingley at number 20, we hope it doesn't give the vibes yet again of Artie Burns, and he kind of burnt us. Are you reaching too high? But from what I've been reading about Stingley, he's a top 5 player, or top 6, arguably, in this draft, and one of the highest priced corners, right? He has super speed. He breaks down the football plays easily, can keep up with receivers who are fast. Like, we got to keep up with Amari Cooper, Jamar Chase. Who's the other bloke out there? Hollywood Brown, right? We need this defense to keep up with him, so he can be man to man, push him at the very start when they get off the line and disrupt their routes. I like that, so I wouldn't be against if they were to draft him at number 20. I think that would help our defense and boost our secondary. And also, what is interesting as well, now defensive coordinator Terrell Austin was a secondaries coach, right? And Mike Tomlin his background is secondary and defensive coach. So Could this be the pick where they reach out and get Stingley at 20 and really start to, put time and effort and the draft capital and the money there in that situation to say, we have our guy, our lockdown corner, right? Go sign Terrell Edmonds, keep Minka, and this defense will be crazy. So, what do you guys think so far? Is that in the realm of possibilities for the draft coming up in the next few weeks? Will that happen? Will Stingley even fall that far to 20? Is Daniel Jeremiah? It's all mocks, right? We don't know at this point. It's all mocks and speculation. We don't know. But from the highlights that I did see, he's very aggressive. He played the ball, quite tight. Like when the receivers are when he's on the receiver, there was no separation from the highlights that I saw, right? But the big thing is he didn't play last year in 2021. He's coming off that injury. However, I want to end it with this. During a recent interview, Stingley was asked if he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I love this response. I love the confidence in yourself. Stingley said, because I know myself and I know that when I'm at my best version of myself, I'm the greatest. I love that. We need that in this Pittsburgh Steelers locker room. We need confidence in yourself, confidence in the team, confidence in the locker room. We need to bring that Steel City attitude back to the black and gold. It has been missing for a little bit, I think, in the culture side of things. So Stingley's confidence in himself is growing, or it's quite high. His play on the field during 2019 and 2020 was quite high until he got injured in 2021. Daniel Jeremiah thinks we take him at number 20. But what do you guys think? I'm like, every time I go down the road, right, and I look at these players, and this is probably why I don't do it. This is why I don't do it that much. Every time I look at these players, right, I start to think near the end, man, he would be a Steeler, And when you keep looking at receivers and safeties and cornerbacks, outside linebackers, the more people you invest your time into, and then you just think, well, what if he isn't now, Because I would be happy to see him to be cornerback number 2 or even 3, or just build himself into the system, along with Witherspoon and Wallace, right? And Sutton and Mollett. Just build into the system, this secondary. This defense is going to be crazy next year. I don't care what anyone says. We are apparently the worst or the 4th worst in the NFL. The odds are like even to over under. I think is 7.5 wins. Nah, man, it's not going to happen, mate. It just won't happen. I just think if you were to go out and get a corner, then he could help us this year and develop into the later years, and then we can lock him down to a contract. That I could see that, right? But the only risk I would say would be maybe that injury might put him off. But in his own words, and I guess the team evaluation, people are confident in him too. So he says he's 100%. He needs to go. And if Daniel Jeremiah thinks he might go at 20, there could be a possibility. So we're just throwing that out there. All right, guys. Just lastly, we have a special guest this week. One of my mates, Owen, Pittsburgh Owen, will be helping out the channel throughout the next few weeks leading up to the draft. So please check out his content tomorrow. It's really good, man. I won't give it away just yet, but it was a pretty good topic so far. And he'll be helping us out for the next few weeks. But as always, here we go, Steelers. Here we